Welcome back, everyone, to the Runaround.
And we're taking phone calls. Give us a call at 410-481-1300, or those Alaskans, 888-372-9535.
But right now, we're being joined by Saul of Holabird Sports, store manager and running expert. Saul, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, now Saul, you're going to talk about a little bit about shoes today. What new shoes are on the market? You know, the whole spectrum of running shoes. Let's say theoretically, I'm a customer walking into Holabird Sports. I'm in the market for buying some new shoes. What can I expect from Holabird?
Well, I mean, first thing you're going to see is when you walk in the store, you're going to see more shoes than you've seen in any store you've probably ever walked in. So you might be a little intimidated right off the bat. What you can expect from us is my floor staff, who is made up of runners, etc. They are the best. They will be able to take you through the store. You'll see we have our running shoes are divided up by function. You know, they will take a look at your feet. They will measure your feet. They will make sure that you are fitted for the exact shoe that you belong in for the mileage that you're doing, or for whatever your purpose may be with your runs.
Right, and I can vouch for this. I've walked into Holabird. As soon as I walk in, a customer service representative is there to greet me, and I'm telling you, the wall is filled with shoes, and you haven't even seen the warehouse. I mean, literally, they have everything, and they're not just going to fit you for one specific shoe and push you one product. They'll help you try everything out, which is pretty cool. But you mentioned the trying out shoes and the fitting process. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, I mean, when it's very important that when a person comes in to buy a shoe, if they don't get put into the correct shoe, then they're very likely to get injured. You know, and if we become responsible for that, then we've got big problems. You know, our people are the best. You know, they will make sure that you leave there happy with the correct product.
Right.
What about the older runner who's been running for a lot of years, say like the 60s, and we've only been used to one type of shoe, and you see all the new shoes coming out, you get a little intimidated. How do you start when you don't even know what shoe you want?
Well, I mean, again, that comes from a bit of a gait analysis, you know, looking to see if they have a high arch, if they have a flat foot, you know, and a lot comes from the information that the customer will give to us as far as how much they're running, you know, distance-wise, etc. You know, that'll really help us steer them into, you know, what will work best for them. You know, there's a lot of product, you know, and it can definitely be confusing. You know, people take a lot of advice from their friends, tell you, oh, this shoe is the greatest shoe ever, you know, and they go and they buy it based on that, and they come in and they're like, this is the worst. I mean, but the shoe could be a great shoe, but it's just not the right shoe for them.
So what's popular out there these days?
Yeah, let's take a look at some of these. I'm holding a Vibram right now, the Five Fingers, a shoe that's a point of a lot of controversy for all the runners out there who want to try on a minimalist shoe. I mean, for those of you who haven't seen it, they have individual toes that you have to slip each toe into, and it's all that's separating you from your foot and the ground is really a thin piece of rubber. Saul, tell us about these.
Well, I mean, the main purpose is to go in the category called minimalistic shoes, you know, and the Vibram was based on the barefoot running technology. You know, so basically what the shoe is, if you're looking at it, is it's a foot, essentially.
Literally, it looks like a foot.
Why isn't it flesh colored?
Yeah, so people have ugly feet. This makes them a little uglier. But anyway, so basically what Vibram does with these shoes is they provide literally just a layer of material between your foot and the ground. There's no cushioning technology, nothing behind it. It's all based on your foot being 100% natural.
Right, and let's talk about the trail shoe we have here. We have a Nike Pegasus trail shoe. What's the philosophy behind putting on a trail shoe as opposed to just wearing a standard running shoe?
Well, I mean, generally with a trail shoe, what you're going to get different, I mean, for instance, with the Pegasus here, there's a regular neutral Pegasus for your regular road running. Your difference between that and the trail shoe version is going to be the trail shoe is going to have a little bit more of a rugged outsole on it, which is the bottom of the shoe. It's going to be lugged to where it can help with the traction, etc. when you are running on some rugged terrain. You know, you're generally not going to want to take your trail shoe and run too much on the road because, you know, for instance, anybody that's ever walked in a pair of cleats on concrete, you know, it clicks, it's hard, it feels uncomfortable, and then you step on the grass or the dirt and you're like, wow, this is really comfortable.
Yeah, for all the road runners out there, trail shoes may not be the ones for you.
Well, I've been wearing trail shoes now for the past couple months, and I'm a little bit heavier. I mean, I think that body mass index, the formula is your age plus 200 pounds, so I'm perfect at that. But I find it's given me a lot more stability, and the shoes last a lot longer too with the trail shoes.
Well, the stability would be inherent based on the fact that the outsole is harder.
Right.
You know, so, you know, a lot of the trail shoes, they don't historically have any kind of postings or anything like that for the stability features. There are some which are takedowns, or I should say, you know, counterparts to an inline model, you know, where they have posted it like they did in the regular shoe.
And speaking of posting, we got something completely different here. We have a brand that most runners are not familiar with. It's Carhu. So Saul, can you tell us something about Carhu? What makes them different?
Rate you a little bit faster, take off a little bit of the impact.
Is that almost like the Skechers where the fitness people are using them? It gives you a little bit more rock on your foot.
Oh God, I hope not.
No, it's not really, not at all.
Yeah, so these shoes are more about motion, heel to toe, not as much
Yeah, it's
left to right.
It's heel to toe movement.
Okay, we got some Adidas performance shoes here. Man, you could see me running these from like a mile away. These are bright. Is this a racing flat, Saul? What is this?
Yeah, you have the Adidas Adios there, and basically, you know, this is an extremely good marathon shoe. It's been timed as, some runners who have run in this shoe around the world have recorded a couple of the fastest marathon times in the world in the past year. What's different about these compared to what would be classified as a minimalist shoe is these are going to have cushioning aspects that are built into it. A lot of these shoes can actually be even lighter than what some of the minimalist shoes are, you know, but what you do get out of these is, you know, for this shoe, for instance, as in any Adidas shoe in line, as far as their mainstream line would go, you would have great heel shock absorption with their Adiprene going into their Adiprene Plus, which is a more reactionary compound to help you spring into your toe off.
Yeah, and they are light. For those of you tuning in, I mean, I feel like I'm holding a piece of paper here.
I see you have New Balance shoes there too, and as I've always worn New Balance for a long time, especially being a little older, a lot older, and a lot heavier, they have a wider toe box, and as you get older, your feet do tend to spread out in the toes, and that gives you a little bit more comfort. It's not boxy in there.
That's correct.
Thank you.
You know, what's one thing that's unique about New Balance is that they do have a large variety of width options. You know, so to be able to cater to virtually any foot, you're going to find a shoe within the New Balance line that will be able to represent for you.
Very cool. And we only have about 8 different shoes here. But really, go to Holabird Sports, check out their Baltimore showroom on Pulaski Highway. Check them out on holabird.sports.com. You have everything you could ever want. I mean, Saul, is it easy to place an order online if they want to do it instead of going into the showroom to actually get fitted for a pair of shoes? Maybe if they know what they want, can they go to Holabird Sports? Is it easy to order?
Oh, without doubt. I mean, if you're ordering online, you go to the website, holabird.sports.com. You'll find your shoes, you'll find your descriptions, you'll be able to do comparisons from one brand to the next. I mean,
Can you put your foot right up to the screen and we'll take a measurement for
you
you?
cannot do that yet.
I bet you they're working on it.
We're working on it. You know, our Geek Squad there they're working hard to try and develop that.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, visit holabird.sports.com. Check out their Baltimore showroom. I mean, they're really something else, and we're glad to be partnered with them as we move forward. But moving on, we got a lot to talk about next week. We're going to bring on Andrew Valman, 4x400 meter world record holder and Olympic gold medalist, also the coach of University of Maryland cross country and track and field. They're going through a crisis right now. That team is on the chopping block. The program's going to be cut from the school as we know it.
So we're going to devote the entire program to saving University of Maryland track and field. We'll also have Zach Ray, ex-runner at Huntingtown High School, now at University of Maryland. And if you want to see a video broadcast of today's show, go to runningmaryland.com and we'll have it online for you tonight.
And as always, check runningmaryland.com for all the latest photos, results, videos, what have you. We have it online for you all to see. Peruse the contents.
All right.
Maybe you'll find something new that you didn't know about.
We made it through show 1, Greg.
Yeah, one slip up in the beginning. We're going to be here next week, 5 p.m. Be sure to tune in. We have a lot to talk about. Good night, everyone. Happy running.
Later.
How to do?
Good, it's good, it's good.